All right, team. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Oh, of course, of course. Hang on, hang on, hang on. Okay, okay, okay. Let's do it. So this, as Tommy said, this class, the River of Insecurity, I start with the intros and the kind of, housekeeping. If there's a class that we need a really strong housekeeping and disclaimer, it's this one. It really is this one. Uh, uh, there are going to be people on this call, I guarantee you, that are not ready for this. That's just how it kind of goes. There'll be some people that are ready for it, but you've got it. This class, you've got to be so honest with yourself. This is a no joke class. So disclaimer, please don't, please, 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 for us, if you are getting into this, don't jump off this class and just start doing this. You have to consult with us before you start. Yeah, you must. And you've got to be really honest with where you're at because what we're going to show you is not something you just attack by yourself. This class is about showing you what's next. What's next when you get sick of the personal development, sick of the therapy, sick of the da 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 da. When you're over all of that, there is a next territory. We're just going to show you what it is today. So yeah, that's the biggest kind of disclaimer of today. You got to be really honest with yourself in this class. Cool? Cool with that? This isn't a class where you're like, let's dive in and do it and let's just take action. And this is not that class. So we're going to have a lot of discussion along the way. Um, and yeah, we'll just be really honest. So the flow of today, we're going to look at the first step beyond mind. What is that step when you're interested in a life beyond this crazy thing? The teaching of abandoning closure. We're going to look at why that's so important in a life that is purely heart-based beyond mind. Life beyond self-defense and collapsing the final image. There are no such thing as safe spaces. We're going to break that down fully in that woke kind of ideology about the safe spaces and everyone's got to be psychologically safe. That doesn't have a place here because it's fundamentally not true. And you don't, in the river of insecurity, you don't need beliefs. We're going to show you what life can be like when you don't have to cycle through beliefs and learn new beliefs and whip yourself in the back when you've got a bad belief and all that jazz. We're going way beyond that. Sweet. All good. Excellent. Let's have some fun. Let's have some fun. It's going to be good. It's going to be good. There's 4 stages where someone's going to be at during this class. Uh, you're going to be not ready for this, but not ready doesn't mean you can't learn it, right? Not ready to dive in. You're going to be contemplating this. You're going to be taking first steps, or you're going to be diving in. They're the 4 places where you're going to be at after we teach you this. So
Let's do a little pulse check there.
okay,
Let's slow down. Yeah. How are we feeling,
over.
guys? Let's unfortunate my voice is like this today, but that's okay. How are we feeling? Where do we think we're sitting? Slow it down.
You feel ready for something brand new? Do you want to contemplate it? I'm not ready for something intense and heavy. Where are we at? You'll know more along the way, but let's do it.
Yeah, yeah, we've got ready, we've got diving in, got a mixed bunch. Oh,
Okay.
Caleb's saying he's swimming with the dragons, so
Yeah, okay,
we love
Caleb is
that.
all right, cool. Cool, cool, cool,
Yeah.
cool. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. So we're going to break down first of all the layers of the ego structure. This is just context. We're setting things up. The first thing is the ego has a shell. It's the most outward part of the ego. It's the thing that's most outwardly facing. It's basically when you're the most social part of you, the kind of, hey, how you going? Yeah, I'm good. How are you? Great, great, great. That small talk stuff, that's the ego shell. Moving in, you've got self-images, all the different versions of you that you have to chop and change. That's a very, very well-known fact now that we do hyphenate our personality. We split it up into what's necessary. Then we have our self-supply, the way we juice ourselves up, the way the ego likes to supply itself and inflate itself, however you do that. And then we get down into self-defenses. Everyone's ego has this very implicit layers of self-defense around self-preservation. We're talking, just you have to kind of protect yourself. Right in the middle of the damn thing, right in the middle, at the very experience of the ego, guys, is insecurity. This is the most important factor of this class, is that the experience of the ego is insecure all the time. The ego and insecurity, same thing. Exactly the same thing. You come to realize that all the personal development efforts, all Western psych efforts, all counseling and therapeutic efforts, and a lot of spiritual efforts are a rejection or a revolt from the feeling of insecurity. So step one of this class, can we all just accept the fact that the reality and experience of the ego is insecurity? That's what it is. It is in itself insecure. Anything it does to try and stop, solve, move, or change insecurity just embeds more insecurity. So it looks like this. This is a huge class team. Here's some of the ways the ego structure defends itself against insecurity. Covering the existence of pain or guilt, just covers it up with stuff. Create militant routines to deny pain and guilt. Why I've got guilt there is because guilt is incredibly pervasive in the ego structure. It's like it's insecurity and guilt. It's the same thing. They talk to each other. Routines, not only life routines, but mental routines. Routines, the more you need to routinize your life, you're defending against the insecurity. So if you really, I got to do my routine, I got to do my routine, you're having an insecure experience. Rationalize any situation. When that ego insecurity kicks up, you can just rationalize it away. This means this, insert this belief here. Any pain or any insecurity, you can just rationalize it away. It's not a good thing, but that's majority of techniques we're told is a rationalization technique. Repression and inhibition of the feeling space. You can simply just crush down the feeling space or turn it off with an inhibition. It's like a trap door. If anything feels big or scary or intense, you can just and shut it down. And then finally, we can mislabel feelings for gain. Oh, this is happening for me, or this is a growth impact, or whatever it is. But we've got to start, if you're interested in this level of self-exploration, then you've got us to understand most, if not all, of the techniques we're told are a revolt against the uncomfortable feelings of insecurity. So it's a ruthless defense against fundamental insecurity, and you just go in a circle. These things don't do anything. They don't fundamentally change your nature. When you stop all those is when you enter the river of insecurity. It's a totally different stage of life, a totally different courage, actually, a totally different willingness. So it's a step outside of all of the techniques. It's a step outside of all of the tools, all of the podcasts, all of the stuff that you get slammed with, right? It's a step outside of that and a look outside of that. Over to you guys. What are you seeing? What are you feeling? Give me something to go with here.
And while people are saying that, how would someone get to that point? Like, we kind of learn there. Like, oh my gosh,
did someone ask that?
I'm asking you that because
okay. That's the next slide, Bridie. So that's the next slide.
Well.
This for me is incredibly exciting.
Yeah, is that
like,
Brett?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. It's exciting.
It's like the lights have just been shone on as bright as you can get, because and I don't see any other way than to dive into this space.
Yeah, I love it, Brett. I love it.
You know when you're ready, you feel when you're ready, and that's why you get excited. If you're not excited, not ready.
Not ready. Love it. Love it. Cool. What else are you guys feeling?
Everyone's saying it's landing. Everyone's saying they're doing it already.
Oh, okay, team. Okay, I have underestimated our crew.
Everyone's saying that they've done it, so they're ready for the next,
You have to have a fuck it moment, all right? You have to have a fuck this moment. That's when you know you're ready. And I'll give you a few that we've come across. Fuck it, I can't keep feeling this way. I can't keep trying so hard and getting nowhere. I'm sick of the same shit every day. Same shit, different day. I'm sick of living in fear, anxiety, and worry no matter what I do, no matter what technique, no matter what coach, no matter what program. I've done it all and I still wake up worried. Give me something real. I don't care what it is. That's a really nice fuck it moment where people just go, things feel so weird. This world is so weird. I don't care what it feels like, what it looks like. I just want to know it's real. That's a really strong one that we see. This is a good one too. Fuck it. I've done so much work on myself. I can't do anymore. Can't do anymore. I've got a bookshelf full of stuff. I've paid for programs that have given me a lifetime access and I've only gone once. I'm loaded with information. I've done so much work. I've done the India trip. I've done the Bali trip. I've done the ceremony. I can't do anymore. This is a nice one for our worldly people. Fuck it. This world and its antics are so bullshit. What the fuck is this place? Use my language, but that's the moment where we go, we've got to go beyond mind. We've got to go beyond this drama, this constant fixing, solving, blah, 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 blah. Right? It's a crossroad, and it's a crossroad, and it's a fucking moment. It's you throw caution to the wind and go, let me send it. I'm just going to move you guys out of the way quickly. Who's had that moment? Who's had that? We've all, surely, it's 2025. Yeah, right. That's right. This moment, this crossroad moment is when we look at it technically, is where we want to start thinking about abandoning closure. When the ego is insecure, it seeks and thrives in closure. Close that loop, solve that problem, speak to that person, blah, 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 blah. The next step when you're here is you have to be ready to abandon closure. If you can't do that, don't have the capacity or the courage yet, this is not for you. If you are ready to think about what that means and think about the learnings and the territory and the practices to abandon closure, then we're on. What do we got there, Brady? What do we got? Chat panel, please. I need to know where you're at.
Everyone's saying, me, yes, okay.
Okay,
Jim's
so
saying it.
this is landing way more than what I thought. This is
I think
fantastic.
everyone's so like,
So ready,
they want
huh?
more. Yeah.
Okay.
Jim's saying, I think it's hard to understand. Do you stay in the river?
Oh,
For
Jim.
example, you have that moment going to then come back to the ego, back and forth.
Okay, we'll get there. We'll answer some technical questions.
Yeah.
But this is definitely a burn the boats moment. It's kind of like you can go back, but there's nothing there. You can
Yeah,
go
you
back,
don't
but
want to go. You don't.
once you dive in, you realize there is really nothing there in that ego itself because it's insecure, because the ego is insecurity. Its existence is poverty. There's nothing there. There's actually nothing of value there. So I do this class in a sort of like, you've got the option team, but when you inquire, you realize I don't really have an option. I have to do this because there's nothing there anyway. So what we're talking about, this river of insecurity is a river from a shore to a shore. Shore number one, the mental self. Shore number two, the essential self or the self in the heart, the big S self. There's a journey that has to be undertaken to get there, and it follows the line called the ego self axes. Here's a little bit of technical background. If you do dumb shit like lie, cheat, steal, be not non-committal, flimsy, all the things that we call bullshit behavior, this relationship between ego and self gets really frayed and wobbly, and you get really weak as a psychology. So we think we can get away with all this shit behavior and be selfish and all that stuff, and people think they can get away with it. Every time you do that, you damage this relationship. You damage the link between ego and heart. So much so you can actually snap it. And this is where you meet older people, kind of like 50 plus, that have not done anything on themselves, have not looked at anything, and you just watch them be a repeating pattern until they die. You just watch them repeat food timings, pleasure, until they die. That is when an ego self axis has actually snapped. Their conscience is no longer, they don't have a conscience anymore, and they're just victim to a pattern until they die. So to juice up this relationship, you dive into the river of insecurity. We abandon closure from the mental self. Here's what you can expect, right? Everyone goes, yay, this is me, let's do this. I'll show you this and then we'll see if you really want to. Because here's what it looks like. Body pains, heart grief, trembling anxiety, mental panic, impending doom. Yay, that's a fun one. Irreconciliation, anguish of loss, deep failure, deficiency and poverty, self-contempt, and rage and injustice. Who's keen now? That is the experience of the river of insecurity. There's a massive difference between thinking you're ready and actually doing it. Sorry, I've got some very weird looks. Is that too much? Okay. Righty, help.
I think it's your delivery. You're delivering
Oh.
it with such positivity.
Oh, right.
Everyone's
Okay.
like, okay.
Yeah.
Everyone's saying loving it.
It's really simple when you look at it, when you've got this plethora of culture saying protect yourself, solve problems, have mental models, and all you're doing is covering over this real experience of that. The ego and its insecurity trembles looking at that. So we're going to go on to describe why this process feels this way. The river of insecurity is a narrow passage home that exchanges all self-defenses and self-images, right? You exchange all of it for the immediate, raw, felt experience of the heart. That's the choice. The choice to step into the river is abandon self-defense, feel everything. Feel everything. And that is the teaching. That's it in its rawest form. Why? We're a feeling thing first, team, and we are capable of tremendous feeling. We're capable of that. That's what we're here for. Bridie, what are you doing?
Okay, I'm laughing. Harry's like, it sounds so blissful.
Who says to that? Penelope?
Harry.
Harry.
You know
Yeah,
it's not blissful, Harry.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Penelope's asking, what do we do with all that feeling?
Yeah, let's do it.
And
Okay.
Sasha's asking, is this what they call an ego death?
It's many ego deaths. So there's not just one. This inner journey, the river of insecurity, is a series of deaths, and death and annihilation is a big part of the river of insecurity. It's a big part of it. Because we're pulling down these layers. But this is the crazy thing, guys. This success rate is 100%. It's a narrow passage, but its success rate is 100%. Success rate of results, unimaginable results. It'd be pointless to list them out. It's such an individual journey, but the result is guaranteed 100% of the time.
I think where people are getting, like Penelope's question, it's like not having the territory mapped can be very confusing just feeling it. So
yes,
this will be helpful.
Yeah, we go back to abandoning closure, right? You're getting this conflict of like, this sounds good and kind of painful and interesting, but how do I hold that? What do I do with it? Well, back to the practice of abandoning closure. This is not a place for closure. This is not a place to close off experience. You keep the tap open and you ride the roller coaster. Yes, Brady.
By closure, is this like mental loops?
Mental closure. I need to solve that.
Yeah.
I need to stop that. I need to analyze and understand what this feeling means. All that has to go out the window. All of that has to go out the window. And where you get reprieve is, we call them way stations. On the journey, you hit way stations where all of the feeling settles, reorganizes, immense clarity, immense inner experience, and you settle on a way station and you're a new person. And then you got to go again. Right? So I'll give you the two differences. In the ego experience, when things start, when you're an ego, when things start, it's really exciting at the start. right? It's really good and exciting at the start. It's everything amazing, and then it all fades. Everything fucking fades. New partner fades. New business fades. New food experience at a restaurant fades. Everything through an ego experience starts good and then fades. It overpromises and underdelivers. The ego experience overpromises and underdelivers. The river of insecurity overdelivers because the experience gets more and more and more and more. It follows the exact opposite pattern. The river insecurity starts like, oh, what's going on, and builds and builds and builds and builds and builds. It over delivers. It under promises and over delivers. Just do this little thing. Just do this little practice. Cool.
Yeah, I think we'll have to talk about tolerance
Yes,
at some point.
That's the next slide, Brady. Thank you. So there are no safe spaces in the river of insecurity. You have to throw it out the window. This is not a safe space. This is not a safe space. But it's the exact opposite. You open all the defenses up against safe. You open them all up and say, "Give me the contacts. Just give it to me. Just give it to me raw."
Hold on.
Will it?
This
Yeah.
is from Tommy. So
Okay,
gotta read it
yeah.
out. What does someone do when they're ready to abandon closure, but every specialist they connect with has an undertone of seeking closure, safety, and stability for the client?
Yeah, this is where you have to have guidance in this. You have to have guidance. You have to have a conversation with Tommy, myself, or Bridie, and we've got to set you up because every scenario is different. Some courageous souls just dive in, but without guidance of territory tools, without the guidance of territory and the tools, you got to understand you're abandoning closure, which means you're opening to raw experience, and some of them can be big. So this class is not as simple as, okay, here's the 10 steps. We can't do that here. We have to understand you first. You have to spend time with me first so we can. How many different jump off points are there in a river? Heaps. If you jump off in the wrong spot, bye-bye. You jump off and hit a trolley, it's all over. So yeah, it's very different for each person. That it has to be planned out. All right. So you willingly exchange all the mental gymnastics for an inner physicality. The river insecurity is physical. It's a physical experience. And it feels like this. If you exchange all the mental stuff, you feel the pit in the stomach, the ache in the heart, the vice grip around the throat, the fire in the chest, the electricity in the nerves, the trembling limbs, the anguish in the soul, the chill in the bones, the wounds of longing, and the sting of failure. That's what we're here for. We don't, this for us is commodity. This is commodity for Goy. This is yum, yum, yum. Right? This is what we aim at. This is what we want. We want physicality, right? Because the ego and mental space is a dead space. This is why you can achieve everything and feel nothing. Be in a great position and feel nothing. Go overseas and feel nothing. Make love and feel nothing at the end of the day. Yeah, nothing, no big change in experience. Because the ego mental territory is sameness. When we know when this is going on, our commodity, we ain't in sameness anymore. We're real deal. Real deal. This is a real deal space. Okay. So why do this, right? Like, actually, let's just chat on this one. How do we feel about, what are we thinking? No safe spaces, and this is a commodity for us. This is gold.
Heather's saying she has a deep desire for real.
Who said that?
Heather.
Heather, yes, absolutely. Every one of you'll be sitting in there just going, oh my God, just give me the real. Just give me the real. Because everything feels so bullshit right now. Everything feels so bullshit. Social media feels bullshit. People feel bullshit. They open their mouth and like, shut up. You're just a reflection of the next person. Sorry, Marty. the river of insecurity is incredibly unique, and you become so unique because your essential self, there's only one of you. Terry, there's only one of you. Brett, there's only one of you. Sasha, there's only one of you ever made. Why the fuck would I waste my time parroting someone else's bullshit when I can be real deal? I flourish in my uniqueness. It's the best sales thing you'll ever feel. It's the best marketing you'll ever do. It's the best love making you'll ever do. It's unique.
Insane. At least we know you're real, Nat, because this ain't the best sales pitch.
This is the worst sales pitch in history, team. Right? In history. This will go down as the worst sales pitch ever. Not hardly anyone's ready. And this sucks. No, I'm sure you're all ready. I'm actually sure you're all ready. This is exciting. So why the hell would we want to willingly experience mental and emotional pain? Why the hell would we want to do that? Right? We have, check out this, guys. We have 140 years of historical psychological work. 140 years of dedicated people trying to understand neurosis and pathology and pain. We have 3,500 years of spiritual texts that give you options out of the consciousness of pain. So then you got this idiot with a chopstick in his head saying, nah, let's not do any of that. Here's why. There's actually a really, really, really simple answer. The answer lies in the pure fact of biology. Right, we're going to talk about biology. So these are our 4 world spaces. I'm just going to check the time. Oh, we're cruising. We're cruising. Do we want to have some questions? Let's go back here. Let's discuss. Let's slow everything down a bit. What are we thinking, feeling? Because the next slide's the kind of banger of the whole session.
How do we feel about that? It's such a physical experience, guys.
The river insecurity is physical.
Mm.
I'll say something.
Go, please.
For me, it's that whilst the pain exists that you've just laid out, not to be denied, there's a knowingness of what's on the other side, as it were.
Brett. Perfect. Exactly right. Exactly right. Part of the fact of the physical experience is the following. How many times have you heard people in this market say, I'm going to give you clarity. It's all about clarity, the big C word. Clarity, 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 right? And how many times do you walk away, wow, I'm totally clear now? Sometimes, but it goes away. It goes away. I will guarantee you this process, all it does is increase clarity, increase clarity, increase clarity, and it never goes away. Here's why. The physical contactfulness minus the mental gymnastics, that combination, the physical contactness minus the psychological interruption equals discernment. Every time you go into a contact in the river of insecurity, I'm not going to secure myself, I'm going to feel this shit. Every time you do that, what spits out the other end is a piece of clarity that never goes away, called discernment or truth. And you stack them up and you stack them up and you stack them up. Every single time you go into a contact and you abandon closure, you are guaranteed a piece of clarity on the other side. And that is the knowing and the essential guidance Brett is feeling. Every time I go into a contact, I get clarity on the other side, guaranteed. I don't need to change my beliefs. I don't need to do a meditation. I don't need to journal. I don't need to do shit. I don't need to call a friend. I don't need to pay someone. I can go into this contact, use my tools and practices all by myself, and come out the other side with something unfuckable with. And it's true.
Everyone hearing that? All that is guaranteed is true. you're going to go through some physical
Physical. Yeah, it's physical.
contacts, but you will get something on the other side of truth.
Yeah, clarity. It's just clarity, and it's incredibly personalized. It's only a truth about your life. That's what you get. If you're going to own your true experience, what you get on the other side is a true fact about your life. And you can kick the tires of it and it stands up. It doesn't go away like a belief. It doesn't go away like an idea. It doesn't go away like an opinion. It sticks and stays and goes, bing, there you go, have that. And then you've got the next challenge of dealing with this new truth in your life. Whether then you've just got to deal with this new truth, however, which way it wants to, but it's true, which is exciting. That's the exciting, but it's always true. Okay. Any more, Brady, before we move on? All right, let's do it. Here's the fact. Here's the facts of what's going on. We have 4 primary world spaces that all kind of talk to each other. Biological objective matter, just the raw physical stuff of life. Spiritual, subjective, and felt, which is your in the moment, immediate experience right now. Light, entertained, joyous, curious, scared, whatever it is. We have mental and moral and belief. This is all about mentation. This is all about mentation and thoughts and perspectives and schemas and beliefs and models, all that good, juicy mental stuff. And then finally, we have our environmental, social, and space, the stuff around us, these environments, cities, countries, villages, etc. These are our 4 primary world spaces. Now, when we're doing work on ourselves, right, when we don't know that the bottom of the ego experience is just raw insecurity all the time, then this is what happens. We do our subjective spiritual stuff. We might pray or meditate or use consciousness or our freedom domains or whatever, all the spiritual texts, all of the kind of therapeutic felt stuff. And you get into feelings, which is nice. And you get into experience. And that can soothe the insecurity, that can cover it up, and that can sometimes dissolve it partially, and it kind of feels nice. People that are attracted to the subjective felt space get security around doing practices. A lot of meditators don't realize they've done 40 years of security meditation, and their ego is exactly the same. Moving down into our mental, moral, and belief, the primary area in which we try and do work this is kind of the psych and the personal development space. We move the furniture around. I'm feeling insecure, move the furniture around, get better beliefs, have better mental models, do systems of order, guys. Systems of order. Anything that has a chart, a model, an assessment, whatever is called a system of order. And there are millions of systems of order. And for example, and people are probably going to not like me for this, but here we are. Human design right now is kind of a very popular thing. It's very integrated and it's very holistic, but it's just another system of order. It's just a very complicated system of order. So it does nothing for your insecurity. It does nothing. It's just a really sexy model. But it does nothing for your insecurity. It does nothing except bolster the ego and bolster, yes, I'm this thing, more insecurity. Sorry, I'm Brett. I know you like that one. Lastly, environmental space, social and space is I got to get some sun. I got to change my environment. I've got to go travel. I've got to change up this space. I've got to change up my environment. Maybe I've got to go to the beach. Maybe I've got to move to a city. Maybe I need to go live in Bali. That's that process when, once again, it doesn't do anything for the felt underlying sense of insecurity. Because everything we have available today around our interior work misses one thing. It misses something fundamental. All of your triggers, all of your insecurity, all of your neuroses, all of your mental conflicts, all of your emotional pains and repressions, they have a physical component. I'll say it again, all of your triggers, all of your traumas, all of your neuroses, all of your mental conflicts, all of your emotional repressions and pains, every single thing that disrupts you has a biological tissue associated with it. Guess why the river of insecurity is so physical, guys? This is absolutely fascinating. The river of insecurity is so physical because we need the physicality to cook out the tissues associated with your bullshit. Associated with your stuff and your insecurity, there are nodes and networks of physical neuronal tissue that if you don't get that out, you are stuck with the insecurity and the trigger forever. Forever. The only thing that has the power to cook out the physical matter associated with your experience is the physical experience of ache in the heart, fire in the belly, pain in the eyes, vice around the throat, pit in the stomach. That is actually dissolving physical tissue. That's why it hurts so bad. And that's why it has a 100% hit rate, because it works every single time. That's the violin. That's it. That's the cream of the crop. It's the only thing that actually gets into fundamental change. It's a cooking process. It's not a nice spiritual experience. It's not a model. It's not a belief change. That does nothing. Your insecurity will come back. Your triggers will come back. Your neurosis will come back. Your mental emotional conflict will come back every single time unless the physical tissue changes.
How's this landing?
Go, Brady. Yeah. How?
Like,
yeah,
is anyone like saying no? That's I don't feel it in my body. No. Is anyone feeling that way? I know at the start some people can say, "Oh, I don't feel it in my body. I don't know what you mean." Tommy's saying that without the mental belief of it creating closure or leading to an outcome, please break down the importance of letting the chips fall where they may.
Yeah, so to turn on the cookers, to turn on the burners that actually get rid of the insecurity forever, rid of the triggers forever, you have to keep abandoning closure, because as soon as you run for closure, you turn off the burners. And you're in your mental life of security. So this is why when you enter the Goy space and when you come work with us, we say to you, you can go as fast or as deep as what you want. You can take a little boogie board out in the river of insecurity and just have a little swim and then go back. You can dive off into the bottom of hell like Caleb did and just sit there and rattle. I watched Caleb literally go through 10 to 15 years of development in a 6-month period. He'd just sit there and just on the sessions just bawl. And we wouldn't even flinch. We'd just go harder. Caleb, you got to talk to some people on this call. Like, hit up Bridie, hit up Caleb, hit up people that are doing this, and I just go, it's life changing. It's life changing because it's real. It's real deal.
Nat, can you just, if I can, mate, can you just elaborate a little bit more on the term "letting the chips fall where they may"? Because in my 12 years working on personal development, no matter how much of a letting go practice you're in, you still have an undertone that it's going to give you what you want.
Okay, let's do that. So here's where the rubber meets the road. You all have an external life, right? Jobs, kids, wives, responsibilities. What happens there if I'm just burning alive? What happens there? Well, this is, again, you have to have deep courage. You don't know what parts of your life have been built by attachment and fixation. You don't know, right? You don't know. When you look around, you don't know what part of your life is acting as a security. So when you start this process and you actually burn this stuff away, you are guaranteed things in your life to change. You have to understand that you got to let the chips fall where they may. When we say that, your life will change. Your life will change. That is a guarantee. It's about understanding why and how it moves. You have to let the chips fall where they may when you do this. That doesn't mean marriages explode and businesses go down the drain. It's way more complicated than that. Way more complicated. It just means there will be change in your external world, guaranteed. You don't have to push the pieces around. You're going to see parts of your life where you go, I built that little bit of my life because I actually needed security and fixation, and now I don't. So let's remove it. And there's immense freedom. But you got to understand that's change also. Everyone goes, yeah, I'm ready. Let's do this. Well, your life's going to change dramatically. Do you know that, right? So that's when we say the chips fall where they may. There is a courage, and this is where you got to come do some learning with us. You got to come do some practices, and you've got to come understand some territory, because when the chips do start falling where they may, it gets saucy. Chips fall where they may. But where they fall is a much better order and much more essential than your life right now, and that's a guarantee. Wherever the chips fall, it's always going to be better for you. It just may sting a little bit, or it just may change a little bit, or you might need to grow up a little bit. Oh, he's passionate this morning. I do have one more slide. I've got one more slide. But how are we feeling? How are we feeling? How are we feeling?
Penelope's saucy and spicy, baby.
Yes, Penelope.
Yeah.
Me too, girl. Me too. Me too.
Yeah, everyone seems to be loving it.
Cool. Cool. All right. Let's do it. That's it. Yeah. Hang on. I think there's one more slide. Yeah, you have to have a fuck it moment. You have to. You have to have this moment where you don't really realize until you have this contrast where you go, oh, my morning routine is a bit of a fixation. There's parts of my job that's a fixation. There's people around me that I just use to secure myself. There's things I say just to secure myself. Like, you don't realize and how much we build our life around security, and how much it's a huge drain on us and doesn't bring anything enriching. So you have to have this moment of like, fuck it, give me something real. Because guys, you've all made the money. You've all been on holidays. You've all made great love and babies, and you've all been married and divorced, and you've all done it, right? Like, you've all done it. I know you have. You wouldn't be sitting here. You've all done. What are you going to do? Go on another holiday? What are you going to have, another fucking margarita? What's the point? Yeah, Brett. Yeah. So last slide. Let's do it. Training and guiding insecurity tolerance. This is the practice that we teach and goes insecurity tolerance. If I'm going to jump into this river of insecurity, then you have to know and learn how to tolerate it. And there's a bunch of tools and blah, 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 blah that we have. So I'm just going to give you the contrast, right, between mental beliefs and the heart's experience. When we in the reference point of, okay, I'm going to be insecure. I'm just going to be insecure. How do I tolerate this? I just want to give you some contrast, right, to set you up. Mental belief seeks closure and security. The heart self, your true self. Oh, we'll go along the other way. It assumes self-preservation and protection. This is just the mental beliefs, the mental self. It's building blocks of beliefs and models. I got to believe certain things, and I got to have things that look a certain way. Itself is transient and changeable. You can change your identity in your mental self. You can't change your essential self at all. That's what you got locked in with. That's you. You can change your mental self. And its primary aim is to build boundaries. So that entire top line is about security. An entire top line is about a life of security. To tolerate insecurity, you have to understand there's a self in the heart that's extremely different. Everyone is capable of experience. Everyone is capable of big experience. Because in the heart self, it seeks a different thing, ever increasing aliveness and intimacy. The heart just wants more aliveness, which means I want more experience and a deeper intimacy. Not touch intimacy, all intimacy. The heart assumes complete and total tolerance. The assumption of the heart self is I can tolerate anything. That's its assumption. The heart goes, I can tolerate absolutely anything. Give it to me and try. Give it to me and try. The heart's building blocks is felt experience and essential qualities. These essential qualities are actual building blocks that people have some and don't have others. There is a rebuilding process in the river of insecurity. The pain and the cooking process illumines what we call jewels of consciousness, essential qualities, essential personal value, essential clarity, essential guidance, essential sorrow, essential trust, essential love. There's building blocks in the heart. Itself is immovable and unchanging individual. It's the part of you that can't change, won't change, and doesn't want to change. It's the part of you that says, fuck you all, I am who I am. Why do I need to be an entrepreneur, speaker, book writer, blah, 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 whatever? It doesn't want any of those labels or identities. There's a part of you that doesn't want any label or any identity or any box because you go, I'm just fucking me. What do I need to do all this shit for? Because it's the heart self. And its aims are boundary dissolving. It's the exact opposite. The heart self goes, give me the real you. Fuck the rest off. I'm over it. I'm over it. I'm over this little weird image that you've got here. Just let's dissolve boundaries and let's do something real. So insecurity tolerance is knowing that you will be caught and held. You will be held every time you feel this. Every time you go into this process, you'll be caught and held because there's something way deeper, way bigger, way more amazing, and way more self-knowing where you turn around and go, I fucking knew it. I knew this shit. I knew it. So we train you to be tolerant of insecurity. We train you to be tolerant of it.
Sasha's asking, sorry.
Yeah.
Can you give more explanation on the boundary creation and dissolving?
Yeah, so your mental self, right? It's locked into a psychological, it's locked into the vital, so it's so concerned with self-preservation. The mental self is locked into self-preservation, preserve myself at all costs, which means the way it interprets life is I have to build this boundary to self-preserve. I want you close, but not too close. You've just created a trigger in me. Now I need to put a boundary in there. I feel uncomfortable with that. All of it's got to do with self-preservation. Self-preservation of this mental image. And because it's in the hindbrain, it's extremely physical and fast. And then now we have this totally off-track idea about, look, everyone's got to have strong boundaries. No, you don't. You don't have to have strong boundaries. Let people be them. They're going to trigger you. People that I've got to have strong boundaries are building prisons for themselves. It's fascinating when you get in a group of people, like in our classes and in our live events. No one's creating boundaries at all. No one wants a boundary around them. Everyone wants raw and real. I've got no boundaries here, open book. The heart says, we need to get those out of the way. We need to get those out of the way. We need to dissolve them. Because I want to know you and you want to know me and we can do something real, whatever that looks like. There's no need for when you're in your essential life and you understand this and you're on this journey, you don't ever want to create a boundary. It feels often weird. Why would I create the thing that's hurting me? In the essential life, we want to pull down boundaries as much as we can. You don't need to self-protect through mental boundaries. The heart is way, way better at enlargement. Instead of the mental belief going, I could be victimized, I need to create a boundary. The heart self and its enlargement goes, I'm going to be victorious. I'm going to be a beast of myself. Come at me. I don't need to self-protect. What am I protecting from? I'm not vulnerable like that. The heart self is so not vulnerable like that. You can own your own vulnerability in this space. You don't need to protect yourself from other people.
I know there's people sitting here on this call saying, but I've worked so hard to create this life.
Yeah.
Are you asking me to throw it all away?
Yeah, yeah.
Can you talk to the fact about how you don't lose anything along the journey?
Yeah. You do go through big, painful experiences and there's a lot of letting go of attachments kind of pop and dissolve and do their thing. and you go through feelings of loss, but nothing is lost. You don't lose anything. You don't lose anyone. You don't lose anything. It's an internal journey, a true one, a true one. But yeah, if you've put 50 years of life in a mental model and then go, oh shit, there's more. Yeah, that's how it goes. Life is not simple. Life is not simple. And your essential nature doesn't, this is the strangest thing. Your essential nature on the other side of the river of insecurity does not care if you engage this process or not. It's not a parent. It's not a parent. You either want this or you don't. Like, it's not going to sit there and, oh, one day you're going to get there. It just goes, oh, well, next lifetime, I suppose. I don't know. And it also, when you start, it also doesn't care what it has to challenge in you to get you there. It doesn't care what it has to put you through to get you there. How are we doing?
I'm saying at the end of the day, anything essential and true sticks around.
Yeah, anything essential and true sticks around, and anything essential or true is the most fulfilling, most enlivening, and most intimate. And if it's not essential, it'll go. There's a bit of a weight anyway, so. Nice work, team. Nice work for hanging around so long. I think that's everyone besides one. Cool. Can I ask you a question, team? Genuine question from myself, Tommy, and Bridie. How do you think the best way, what is the best way for us to engage with you in this process? Because, you know, setting up that side of this is really quite challenging. Really quite challenging. What would be the next obvious step for you? What would you go, yeah, that's the next obvious step? What would that be? For me, it's getting on a half an hour call with you if you want to do this. That's what makes sense to me. Is getting on a half an hour call, understanding where you need to jump in, and then giving you your first kind of steps. That's what makes sense to me. But this is, you know, what makes sense to you as a next logical step.
Nat, can I share something?
Please go, Caleb. Oh, the man.
So when I was at the start of this journey and knowing I kind of want to jump into that river, having someone that's kind of wading in there, going,
Yeah.
here, take my hand, kind of pulling me into the deep end would be amazing. So
Okay, so we need someone there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Nice. I support that. Yeah, sometimes you want to swim back, and I'm just gonna have to hold you there and be like, you ain't swimming back. You ain't going, you staying right the fuck here. That's 2/3 of my job. 2/3 of my job is, no, I'm gonna drown you here. Too bad. You can take it. You can take it.
Whoa. Caleb's saying, I think this might be your best session ever.
Oh, okay. All right.
Bit of Bridie pizzazz. What do you mean?
Yeah. Tommy, you're out. It's me, Bridie. Okay, so that's 2 confirmations for guidance for someone else there. And that doesn't have to be me. That can be Bridie, that can be Kat, that can be, you know. In fact, Bridie and Caleb and Tommy are much sweeter than me. Much sweeter. They are much more kind. Okay, so next steps. If we go back right to the top, not ready, willing, want to dive in, if you want to, you have to call me. We have to get some time together. And I'm going to set you up on kind of where you're at and how to push in. What's the first thing I need to abandon closure on is really what I'm looking for. There'll be something in your life where you go, that's the first thing. I want you to abandon closure and go into experience there. We don't know what that is yet. So just hands up. Give me the hands up who wants to call with me just to get some territory out of like, okay, I think I want to look into this. Heather, yep, beautiful. Bridie, can you see people there?
Yeah, Anita's got a hand up.
Yep.
People, get on a call with him. He'll like absolutely make you feel alive, but it'll be a bit of hell, but it'll be fun, guys. You got
There
this.
is we're all fine. We're all
Come
fine.
talk to me afterwards.
Talk to Bridie and Caleb. Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna get my link, my call link, Bridie Kit. I'll send it to you. What's the best way to do this, team? Is it this in the chat panel here?
Yeah,
Email? Tell me.
Nat, I'm just going to jump in. We had a bunch of hands go up and then come down. It's a bit delayed. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to send an email to everyone that was on the call today with that booking link for the 30-minute 30-minute check-in call with you. So I'll email it to everyone. How does that sound? Would that be beneficial, guys? Okay, beautiful. Thanks, Sasha.
Yeah.
Great.
Okay. LP, it's gonna be great. Let's do it. Let's do it. It's gonna be fun, guys. Honestly, it's heaps of fun. It's hard, but it's fun.
You'll feel alive.
You'll fucking feel alive. I'll tell you that much.
You will.
You'll feel alive. You'll feel alive. And remember, like the point here is last thing. This is the whole fact of it all, is that this physical process is the only thing that gets at the tissue, the actual neuronal tissue connected with challenging, insecure experience.
And guys, jump into the Facebook group. I want to hear your experiences. That's what I want. That's
Okay.
cool.
Okay. We'll get If you're not in the Facebook group, in the email there'll be a link to join the Facebook group and the check-in call with me. Let's do that.
My mum's on the call and she's saying thanks.
She's saying, well, Bridie's mum's on the call.
Yeah.
What's up? The worlds are colliding.
Everyone's saying thank you.
No worries, guys. No worries. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. We going now? Is that it?
Yeah.
Okay, see you guys. Bye.